So far, we've introduced the three types of arguments: inductive, deductive, and analogical. I've told you that deductive arguments are very special. And so we're going to be spending a lot more time talking about deductive arguments. As I said, deductive arguments, and only deductive arguments, can give us certainty. But of course, lots of conditions, well, two big conditions, need to be met in order for the deductive argument to give us certainty. These two terms, validity and soundness, I think are two of the most important terms in the early portion of this class. These are two terms that are going to be important in any future philosophy class that you might take. So please pay close attention in this video and take notes, and I'm going to be providing some other there's going to be some other readings and maybe even other videos to help you along with these important ideas. So let's talk about validity first. And again, this applies to deductive arguments only. Only deductive arguments can be valid or invalid, and only deductive arguments can be sound or unsound. Here's the definition of validity. A deductive argument is valid if it is set up in such a way that if its premises are true, then its conclusion must be true. To put this in another way, a deductive argument is valid if it's impossible to have true premises and a false conclusion. You see how those things are equivalent? We'll be talking a lot more about this, and again, we'll have some other resources to help reinforce this idea. Well, let's take a look at a sample deductive argument and see whether you think this one meets the criteria of validity. Premise 1, all mice are mammals. Premise 2, all mammals are animals. Therefore, the conclusion, all mice are animals. What do you think? Valid or invalid? Well, given our definition, this is a valid argument. It is set up in such a way that if the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. The conclusion follows necessarily from the premises. Again, when we're talking about validity, we're not saying that the premises are true. We're not saying that the conclusion is true. We're saying that it is set up in such a way that if the premises are true, then the conclusion must also be true. So this can be confusing for students who are new to logic, but remind yourself that validity has to do with the structure of an argument, not with its content. In fact, we could have a deductive argument. We're going to see some like this, devoid of any content, really. We just put variables in there. And we could have arguments that are valid or invalid, right? All A are B, all B are C. Well, therefore, all A are C. That would be a valid argument. Well, let's look at this next one then. And again, play along with me here. Follow along and see whether you think this is a valid argument. Premise 1, all mice are purple. Premise 2, all purple things are circular. Therefore, the conclusion, all mice are circular. What do you think, valid or invalid? Well, if you said valid, you are correct. And if you said invalid, don't worry about it because there is something very wrong here. Your instincts might have told you, hey, there's something amiss here. And so you thought maybe it was invalid. Well, there is something wrong. Well, what's wrong is not the structure. The structure's fine. The structure's the exact same structure that you see above. And validity has to do with the structure of an argument. So, one of the things that has to be the case for a deductive argument to be a good one, to give us certainty, is that it must be set up correctly. It must be valid. But that's not the only condition. There is another condition. Let's talk about soundness. An argument, and this again applies to deductive arguments only. A deductive argument is sound if it is valid and has all true premises. Pardon me. If it is valid and has all true premises. So an argument is sound if both of those conditions obtain. And of course, since we know that the conclusion of a sound argument is true, if we have set it up in the right way, if it's valid, and we've confirmed that those premises are true, we can know that conclusion with certainty. So let's go back and take a look at our arguments here. All mice are mammals, all mammals are animals, therefore all mice are animals. We established that this is a valid argument. It also, I think, is a sound one. The premises are true. So all we need for a sound argument is, one, it's set up in the right way. It's valid. And two, that the premises are all true. We have that, and we can know something with certainty. How about the second one? All mice are purple. All purple things are circular. Therefore, all mice are circular. Well, it's still a valid argument. Does that mean it's a pretty good argument? Well, no. Both conditions need to obtain for it to be a good argument. The structure is right, but the premises are false. In fact, they're just absurd. This argument is valid, but it is not sound. This is an unsound, valid, deductive argument. Let's stop here, and I'll see you in the next video.